Hello everyone. Today in this video we'll discuss one important act of our modern history, that is Charter Act of 1813. In the last video we had discussed about Charter Act of 1793, which renewed the Charter of East India Company for 20 years. So after 20 years, this is the act which we'll discuss. Now before going to the provisions, each and every provisions, first of all we'll discuss what are the reasons why Charter Act of 1813 came into existence. So what happened is, in Europe, so there was a system called continental system of Napoleon. Now this system, it had prohibited the import of British goods. So British goods cannot be imported into the French allies in Europe. So this was a system which Napoleon had did. So because of this system, because there was no import, so the traders were suffering like anything. So the British traders and merchants suffered because their business got hampered, because they are not able to do business, because their export is not allowed in French allies. So what they did is they demanded share in British trade, that too in Asia. And this British trade in Asia was controlled by East India Company, because East India Company had monopoly. It had monopoly as per the previous act of Charter Act of 1793. Now they demanded a share. The British traders and merchants demanded a share, and they also demanded to dissolve the monopoly of East India Company. So because of their pressure on the government, in the home government, that is in British, so the act of Charter Act of 1813 came, where the monopoly ended of East India Company. So this is the basic reason, and one more reason is that 20 years renew was also there. It also promised in the previous act that there will be a 20 years gap, so it will be renewed. So this is the basic reason for that. Now coming to the provisions, first of all, it ended the East India Company monopoly of trade, but except tea trade and trade with China. Second, it explicitly declared the sovereignty of the crown. So there was an explicit written, so obviously the crown sovereignty was there before also, but here it was explicitly mentioned that the crown is sovereign. That is, the constitutional provision of the British territories in India was explicitly defined for the first time. That is, East India Company was doing annexation. Okay, so here it was mentioned that those territories which comes under the British, that is British territories, first time they will be controlled as per the crown, that is the British, that is the constitutional position was mentioned, how they will be governed. So that thing was explicitly declared. Now it also allowed Christian missionaries to settle in India, that too with a license. So here there is a conversion thing, that is, we all know the British, Christian missionaries, they wanted to spread Christianity in India. So this was a provision which was made legal. That is, the Christian missionaries can come and settle in India, that too with a license. That does not mean that from 1813 this thing started. This thing started previous, like in the late 1790s. In the 1790s, the Christian missionaries used to come and settle in northeast and different parts of India. But this act made that thing legal. That is, you can come and also settle, that too with a license. It means you have to take the permission of the government. Fine. Now one yearly fund of 1 lakh, that is, it is related to education. 1 lakh for promotion of modern science and literature. So it was mentioned that one yearly fund will be given for promotion of modern science and literature. But yes, one point to be noted is the medium of instruction was not mentioned. So we need to cover this one in detail, which I'll go through. But before that, one more provision is, it asked the East India Company to keep its territorial and commercial accounts separate. Its territorial accounts and commercial accounts. Territorial means they were also doing annexation. Commercial account means that trade accounts. Both will be kept separate. And also it was clearly mentioned the company's dividends was fixed at 10.5%. Now coming back to this, the education part. That is yearly fund of 1 lakh for promotion of modern science and literature. Now because of this, there was confusion that this 1 lakh rupees will go to which medium, whether it is a vernacular medium or whether it's an English medium. So here Charter Act of 1813, 1 lakh for education. So because of this, because there was no clarity on what is the medium, so there was a controversy called Orientalist and Anglicist controversy, which happened immediately after 1813, and it continued. So Orientalists were led by H.H. Wilson. It was led by H.H. Wilson, H.P. Prinsep, and many others. Anglicists were led by Elphinstone, Charles Trevelyan. Now the thing is, Orientalist means eastern side or Asian side. Orientalists were more interested in the language, in the culture, in research of our side, that is Asian side or Indian side or Chinese side. So Orientalist covers everything. Okay, and Anglicist means obviously it is the Western side or English side. Now here that controversy happened. They said, Orientalist said it will be in the language or the medium will be in vernacular. They said, Anglicist said the money, the 1 lakh grant will go for English language. Here the point is, when 1813 to 1830 was a time when Raja Raman Roy was very famous. Now Raja Raman Roy always wanted the fusion of East and West. He always wanted the fusion of East and West. Okay, he always said India can grow if there is a fusion of everything. The good thing of ours, the good thing of theirs, modern science, everything should inculcate and overall development should happen in India. So he was a reformer. He was not a revivalist. He was a reformer. I'll make one video of Raja Raman Roy, the contributions of Raja Raman Roy, in my next video. Fine. Now this happened, but nothing concrete happened here. Now there was a committee on Public Instruction in 1823. Now this committee in 1823, the chairman was Lord Macaulay. So from here Lord Macaulay came into limelight. And it was also there was also 10 European members. But here also nothing happened. Okay, nothing happened. They are not able to decide. So this also kind of was not able to solve the issue, like the money will be spent on vernacular or English. Finally in 1833, Macaulay's minute came, and this Macaulay's minute, same Lord Macaulay in 1833. Now this the medium of instruction he advocated was English. Now this was accepted by the then Governor General, that is Warren Hastings. This was accepted, and finally after nearly 20 years the fund was given for English language. Now this continued. Now the evolution is, after this there was a Wood's dispatch of 1853, that is during Dalhousie. Now this, what it did is, it rejected the downward filtration theory, because this theory was accepted by Macaulay's minute. Means you just teach some educated people, automatically it will go to the masses. So this theory was brought by Macaulay in the Macaulay's minute, but the same theory was rejected by Wood's dispatch. It is Charles Wood, and Charles Wood said that there should be English education, there should also be vernacular education, that is English education in universities and vernacular education in schools, and in higher education it will be both vernacular and English. So for the first time vernacular thing came. Okay, vernacular thing came, and that is the reason why, that is vernacular means local languages. Okay, so that is the reason why the Wood's dispatch is called as the Magna Carta of education in India. Magna Carta of education in India. Magna Carta came from 1215 AD in British, when for the first time the people's rights were recognized by the king. So that is the reason why Magna Carta word is used when anything for the first time is done. So for the first time the local language thing was accepted or recognized by the British. That is the reason why it is called Magna Carta of Education in India. So this is it for Charter Act of 1813. We included the education aspect also. So in the next class we will discuss the Charter Act of 1833. Thank you.